Hello everyone, we are discussing about the back propagation and then the cost function, how to arrive to the minimum cost function in the graph curve, that is graph of weights versus the loss. And we saw that there is positive gradient and negative gradient. So descending the cost function. Descending the cost function means how to reduce the cost function or how to reach that minimum point where the cost function is less. So for that, the adjustment of weight is required. You can see in the equation W nu is equal to W volt minus alpha dj by dw. Dj by dw is the gradient, rate of change of the weight. So you could have seen this formula in the perceptron, right, for updation of the weights. So in the graph you can see there is an initial weight on the slope of this curve, then learning rate at what is the speed at which we reach the minimum point of the cost function, then there is updation of weight. There is initial weight, there is updation of weight, W nu. Likewise, the weight is updated again and again and again. Then we reach that minimum point where the cost function is less, as shown in this graph, the minimum point. So what is the difference between the back propagation and gradient descent? Definition first. Back propagation definition. An algorithm for calculating the gradients of the cost function, it is back propagation, whereas the gradient descent is the optimization algorithm to find the weights that minimize the cost function. Right? Requirements. Differentiation via the chain rule is used in back propagation. Gradient via back propagation is used. Gradient via back propagation, then learning rate is used. What is the process? In back propagation, propagating the error backwards and calculating the gradients of the error function with respect to the weights. In gradient descent, descending down the cost function until we reach the minimal point and find the corresponding weights. So this is the difference between the back propagation and gradient descent. We will have a small quiz. What is this diagram represents? Okay, so this diagram is the graph of weights versus loss, and that minimum point is the minimum point of the cost function. So we have to reach that minimum point. To reach that minimum point, we use positive gradient and negative gradient, and that is what is gradient descent algorithm. What is the relation between learning rate and step size? So the step size indicates the learning rate, right? At what steps we are able to reach that minimum point? How many steps we are able to reach the minimum point in the curve of the graph of weights versus loss? So using the step size, we can calculate the learning rate. Based on learning rate, the step size will change. Identify the below diagrams. First one, as you can see the graph, the curve is moving up. It is positive gradient, and second one, we can see the graph, the curve is moving down. It is negative gradient. So this is about okay. Our next questions. How to calculate error? Error is the difference between expected outcome and the actual output. What is the relation between step size and accuracy in gradient descent? What is the relation between step size and accuracy in gradient descent? Step size increases, the accuracy is more. If less step size, then accuracy is less. Okay. Thank you.